This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you will consider this your vitamin or supplement for your mind and your heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? Leave a rating and a brief written review. And if you'd like to get on my calendar to see if there's any possibility of us working together, I'm looking for the next level, next generation leaders who need some help with leadership, goal setting, and productivity. Go to drronblake.com/call. Get on my calendar and I'll give you a call. Today I want to talk about questions. A lot of times as leaders we get questions, and that's not particularly what I'm meaning today. What questions are you asking of yourself? Or another way of saying it is, do you ever ask yourself tough questions? I read a place where someone by the name of Marla Tabaka wrote an article called 50 Tough Questions You Never Ask Yourself But Should. And I'm sure if you Google her in this article, you could find it because it's really just a litany of really good questions. Now, there's not sufficient time on this podcast to go over all 50 of them, but I want to highlight some that I found intriguing and that I have and I am and I will ask myself. One of the questions that kind of captured my mind, which I think is one that all of us in the world of leadership, self-leadership, leading our families, leading an industry, the church, not-for-profits, clubs. What is my definition of success? Success is a word that we bandy around a lot. Everyone talks about it. And what I have noticed in life is when a word becomes fairly common used descriptor, we make some major assumptions that at times could be wrong and dangerously wrong, and that is, do you define success the same way that I define it, or the people who work with you, or your employer defines it? I think many people don't feel successful. Maybe the fact that they have never really come to terms in their own heart and life with what does it mean to be successful. If you think it's only a certain economic level, a certain academic level, how about having a good reputation? How about being a woman or a man of integrity? How about being a parent whose children respect and honor you? How about success being having a partner who trusts you and is committed to you and has stayed with you? I could go on and on about this one, but especially if you're thinking about tackling certain issues or setting some goals, I think the first place where you really need to work on is sit down and write out your definition of success so that you'll recognize it when you arrive. And here's what I'm thinking. Most of you listening to this podcast, you are very successful. Maybe not successful as you want to be. Surely we can all improve. Maybe not successful in the way the world might define the word successful. But if you've gotten up, if you've faced adversity, if when you have been hit and knocked down in a spirit of resilience, you get back on your feet and you keep putting one foot in front of the other, learn the lessons that come from painful experiences and move on. You pay your bills on time. You take care of your family. My friend, you are successful. Now, there's always room for improvement for all of us. But before you go chasing dreams and writing goals for yourself, you really have to have an understanding of how are you going to define success. And one of the second questions that Marla asked was, is my definition of success well-rounded, including all areas of my life? There are many women and men who are successful at work and the children hardly know their name. They've ruined their health. They've ruined their reputation. Their families have disintegrated. And so I don't want you just to be successful in one area of your life. You should seek to be well-rounded and balanced and have success in all areas of your life. Another question that might be a tough question, and I'm wondering if you've ever asked yourself is, right now, if you would turn this podcast off, sit down and write this answer out. What are my 3 top values? What are the things that you really value? The reason I believe this question and the answer is so significant and important is it is our values that drive us. If just making more money is your value, then you will step on whoever you need to step on. You will cut corners. And I'm not indicating that there's anything wrong with wanting or desiring more resources. What I am saying, if that is your most significant value, then everything else will fall down that line from there, and you will compromise and you will do all sorts of things. If faith and family are not high on your values, then you can talk about it all you want. But does your faith, does your family, does doing the right thing, does that inform your decision making? You can tell a lot about a person when you understand what their values are. And my friends, the person we really, truly need to understand today is ourselves. Do you incorporate, the next question, do you incorporate your values into your decision making? That's pretty much what if putting people and valuing people is a value, then that has to inform my decision making. If God and faith and a personal relationship with Jesus Christ is important, then that value cannot just be when I'm in church or in a Bible study. That value has to inform all of my decision making. Another question Marla asked is, do I feel good about how I treat the most important people in my life? Now, I know what answer we would all like to give, but this is not an exercise in wishful thinking. This is an exercise in asking ourselves tough questions. I think every leader owes it to themselves to sit down, get quiet, and I know I do the majority of my note-taking on electronic devices, but I believe there's something here about a pen in hand and a sheet of paper or a journal and transferring it from our heart and our mind through our fingers onto a piece of paper so we dry. If we're not treating our spouses, our family, and our close friends well and according to our values, then what does it matter if you gain the whole world? So ask ourselves, have I been neglecting my family? Have I not been kind to my friends? That's a good question to ask yourself, and not just as a simple exercise, but one that gets to, my friends, the heart of the matter. Do I feel and express enough gratitude and appreciation for what I have? Oftentimes, leaders, we are so focused on what's wrong and what needs to be fixed and where I want to be in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, and what all I have to do to propel me there. If you've listened to these podcasts at all, you know I mention all of those things. There's nothing wrong there. But every once in a while we should, not, it's more than every once in a while, often we should step back and count our blessings. We have so much for which to be thankful and grateful. If you have your health, you are one of the wealthiest people in the world. If you have food to eat, a roof over your head, children who are basically doing well, you have your basic needs met. One of the things that will help you be a better leader is to step back and be a person who expresses and shows both gratitude and appreciation. That would be just a great exercise to begin writing down all of the things for which you are grateful and thankful. Marla asked another one of those questions that I think all leaders need to face. Is my stress level too high? Is my stress level too high? Sometimes in the positions that you and I are in, we deal with stress so much that we don't even realize we're under it. There have been times when it has come out that I am feeling the pressures of stress, and I wasn't even aware of it, because we live in that kind of a world, and especially those of you in leadership, you are dealing and are involved with exceedingly stressful times. And then the follow-up question she asks in regard to that is the one that I'm going to stop this on. I've got so many questions that I'm going to make the next podcast part 2 of the tough questions you need to ask yourself but rarely do. What are the 3 things I regularly do to reduce stress? What are they? And then a follow-up question to that. What stops me from doing them? Well, I know that going to the gym is one of the things that reduces my stress. For me, as a Christian, prayer and Bible study, other people talk about meditation and breathing and all of that. There's just something about quieting yourself. I happen to be one of those people who love to spend time in Florida. I love sunshine, salt water. I love all of that. And that is one of those places where when I am there, stress seems to melt away. So her follow-up question is, what stops me from doing them? Nothing stops me from doing the prayer, the meditation, and going to the gym but me. And I gave up a long time ago thinking I was too busy. If you're too busy to take care of yourself, you're not just too busy, you're headed down a wrong road. Obviously, leaving work and going across the country to a place of sunshine and salt water may be cost prohibitive at times. But I learned a few years ago when I had my vacations, at the beginning of the year, I went in and put them all on my calendars throughout the year. I put them on there as a priority because they are like medicine. It's good to be able to spend time with family and friends. That is therapeutic. But getting away and getting rest and relaxation and reconnecting with loved ones, not reconnecting, but spending even more significant time with them, is a part of the stress reducing. You have been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust you'll consider this like a vitamin and a supplement for your heart and your mind. I have written a blog article where I list a lot of the questions that resonated with me. If you just go to drronblake.com and where it says blog, just hit the blog tab and look up tough questions you never ask yourself, but you should. Again, if you'd like to have a call with me to see if there's a possibility of us working together, I'd love to come alongside and coach you in leadership, goal setting, productivity, help you get to unstuck and get to the next level. Just get on my calendar and I'll give you a 30-minute call and we'll see what the possibilities might be. Remember, leader, you are doing better than you think you are. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.